Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry, I think my internet just cut out for a second.
Uh-oh.
Hopefully not DDoS. If it's DDoS, then that won't be fun. But I'm just gonna quit the build, restart the game, and let's just jump into another one.
All right. If I quit out of this game, though, I'm gonna risk my reputation going into the red. So kill me. Ruin my KD.
So yeah, I hate sometimes my internet cuts out a little bit like that. So first off, I want to give a shout out to I'm gonna blame Comcast. Huge shout out to Comcast for.
You have no idea. Oh, nice. So just letting. Oh, never mind. I thought they were letting us win, but you just be excited. Should I quit?
It's up to you. If not, we can still talk about.
Yeah, I'll just wait. I don't want my reputation going with it.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, so before.
Wait, what was I saying? I was saying.
I think we were talking about the Chicago event and how you guys had gotten there and like your teamwork and.
I was gonna say. Going back and like watching those games and the listen-ins for our team, it's so funny like how there's just no communication really at all, like at some points, and just like I don't even know how we even knew where people were back in the day, because like we're using Sennheisers screaming at the top of our lungs, like watch out, bonfire. It's like trying to let the guy all the way on the other side like hear you. Like I'm just without it, because you don't have mics, you know.
Yeah, because Astros changed the game completely.
Yeah.
Before, obviously, we didn't use the in-game mic system. It was wearing Sennheisers and screaming as loud as possible so whoever was on the far end could hear you. And generally, a lot of times, screaming loud enough so the other team can hear you. Especially when you out BR them or something like that. But,
yeah, I remember this one time I screamed so loud. This one time legit just turns to me and he goes, "Dude, you actually really just scared me. Like, could you?" I'm like, dude, sorry, man. Oh my god. Thank goodness for Astros, man. Save my voice. Yeah, but even though
also too, if you go back and look at either the way that you and like your team would play, like I felt like Final Boss, obviously the game of Halo, the strategy, teamwork has evolved over the years for every team. It's at a whole different level now than it was even like Final Boss from 2006, 2007. But even going back and like watching Final Boss, like you'd hear us get set up, you'd hear us like, all right, I got your help, I'm going this way. But I swear, like almost any other team you watch, like you're saying, like it just screams out like, all right, here's the strategy. When we communicate, you call out where there's a person, one shot, as loud as you possibly can until that person is dead. And that's our communication. Go.
Yeah, exactly.
Start the game.
Yeah, that's what that's what I just remember watching this one tournament in Zios. They were playing Lockout Team Slayer, and a guy snuck over to bottom BR. And he's like, all right, I'm just going to keep calling this guy out until he dies. One shot bottom BR. One shot bottom BR. And he just kept saying it. Oh, my God. Fucking Zios, man. One of my favorite dudes.
He was one of the most interesting characters in the Halo scene. One of the most interesting people I've ever met. Like, I know you said you haven't watched any of the Halo histories, but you have to go through a couple parts in the one with Pac. I believe it's like episode 4, episode 5. Okay. And Pac just tells about stories when he used to team with him. And Pac's talked about this one time that he's destroying on Damnation, playing Dammy CTF, and what he does is he's run the flag through Waterfall over to the overshields again. Drop the flag, grab overshield, and grenade jump up, run the flag over. Instead, he drops the flag off the map, and Zaus goes, "Pac, we're not going to win this tournament to keep joking like that." For those that know Zios, like how intense of a person he was and how truly intimidating he was also one of the funniest people, especially when it comes to like Halo tournament stories, just hearing quotes that Zaus would say. And especially the fact that in the ways that he would deliver them too. Just absolutely funny. Like, not funny at the exact moment, because you're just like, wow, we're probably not going to win this match if Zaus is acting like that. But it's insanely funny afterwards, telling people all about it.
He's hilarious when he was yelling and raging. wish he could have kept playing, man. I remember even when I played against him in FFA for my first tournament, and he was in one of my FFA rounds, and I kept like sticking him or something. He seriously was yelling so loud, and I could not stop laughing because he was just raging every single time I killed him, and he's just such an intense player.
And he was never. You'd never really consider him to be one of those players that would like pull off sick ridiculous plays. Like he was more like kind of like a machine. Like he played a very solid, consistent style of play that wouldn't deviate too much off that. Like you'd consider him pretty predictable as a player, but he had an incredible shot, and he executed that thing so well that even though you knew in some cases what he was doing, you couldn't stop it. Like he was just that good. So I guess that's at least how I describe a lot of Zaus' play. I guess maybe that's unfair to say he's a predictable player because you look at some of the like 1v1s they had against like Ogre 2 in the 2004 National Championships where like he'd hide in corners and get back smacks on Ogre 2 and do great flanks.
Also hide behind boxes on all off the map.
Just hearing the anger like, no, I'm not getting up. For those... For those that don't know what we're talking about, there was an event in 2005 Philly where MLG had it was just a Team Slayer only tournament, and it's tough to find 11 good Team Slayer game types. So some of the maps that we had to play were like Elongation Team Slayer, Gemini Team Slayer, I don't know, like Turf Team Slayer. There were just a lot of really, like Backwash, maybe not Turf, but Backwash. There was just a lot of really weird maps that obviously did not last beyond that one tournament. But it was that was, I think, one of our only losses in 2005 as far as in a Halo 2 event, and that was you know, they prepared for that event much better than us. They played the game types better. They played them smarter, and obviously deserved that win. But it was just
never won a tournament ever again.
But yeah, there's countless amazing Zaus memories, and I think any player that you talk to, any player that I ever talked to that has played in the scene since like early Halo 2 or especially Halo 1, at least has one amazing Zaus story. So it's always hilarious that that's one thing that I look forward to when getting some of these old veterans down here is hearing their one encounter with Zaus. Like, all right, what was your encounter with Zaus? So I think we covered how did the rest of the season end up for you guys in 2006, because you guys obviously hit a high peak at like that 2006 Chicago event where you guys placed second. You guys took us to, I want to say, like game 9 or game 10, something around there. Like it was close to.
Yeah, we lost game 10.
Game 10. So like basically it could have been, you know, 1 or 2 games gone any different. That could have been a tournament win at that event. But what happened the rest of that 2006 season? Is that the one where Poon had started to have like carpal tunnel?
That was
problems, or was that 2007?
That was at the end of the season. He said, "Oh my god, wait, I'm actually gonna possibly win this game." but yeah. So after Chicago, no man, like when was it? I think it was Orlando. After that, I don't know what we got. We ended up, I think we ended up getting 6th again for the next few events, actually, for the rest of the year. But yeah, I don't know. It's it didn't really go as planned. But yeah, Poon started having that carpal tunnel or whatever that was at the end of the year. And that kind of just threw our whole team off for the finals.
Yeah, when you can't practice much with your team and you can't expect like that 100% out of like a player that you had seen maybe previously in the season or whatever it happens to be.
I'm out of the game.
Cool. Well, you there.
But yeah, that was just the main issue. Is definitely practice. We didn't really practice as much because of that. So.
And that was one of the things, especially in the Halo 2 Classic days. It's always been thematic through all the Halos. The more you and like individual and teams practice, generally the better they do. But it also, I think, held a bit more true like in Halo 2 as well, just because, like, especially in like 2005, like prior to 2006, it wasn't looked at as any sort of viable living in a lot of ways. Like even though I was traveling around to a lot of these tournaments, I was still, I believe in 2005, I was still taking part-time classes at GRCC. At this point, I wasn't working like a part-time job. I was doing well enough with some of the Halo winnings, but in the end, it wasn't like they had $100,000, you know, grand prize for the nationals or $20,000 for first place at regular events. There was like 12 or 13 events in 2005, and I remember first place for a lot of them, for the majority of them, was like $5,000 for the team, and our team was so down at that point where, you know, it was pretty lucrative for us, but it wasn't the same, I feel, as how the scene is now, or how it was when it grew much larger in 2006 and 2007.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
are you on search screen right now?
yeah, I am.
Okay,
actually.
just making sure. Yeah. And I'm still a level 1.
Well, I gotta do better than Nick. I'm not gonna be getting far.
Alright, so moving on past 2006, what did you do squad-wise when it came to like 2007? Because that's where there was obviously some hurricanes and some bouncing around. Like, there's always like these infamous hurricanes. If people aren't familiar with the term, is we call it a hurricane of like team switches, where, you know, once one player gets dropped or a team breaks up, like almost all these other top teams are guaranteed to start switching because they want to find that right exact formula where they'll switch one member, maybe switch a couple members, and try just a new squad, because obviously whatever they had before, even if they gave it a few tournaments to work, doesn't seem to work exactly. And so team switches were very prevalent, and a lot of times we call it like hurricane season, especially like the long off season between nationals and the first event, or after a major event where there's a huge team switch, like especially from like a top 3 team. There's always like that hurricane that cascades through all these squads, and everyone switches up a bit, and it's like, all right, well, the same team names are here, but every roster is pretty much different.
Yeah. So I think we ended up going to I forget what they were called, but there was a Washington D.C. like little side tournament that we went to, because I actually, after 2006, I was actually planning on joining Exit Wounds with Bonfire and them.
What would the roster have been? Would it have been Luck, Bonfire, Omega, or
it would have been I think it would have been with Samurai.
Samurai, so it would have been Luck, Bonfire, and Samurai.
Yeah, yeah. And then I don't know, I forgot, that didn't end up happening, and then I think I was just staying with Ramby for a little while, and then I think we're actually gonna end up picking up Fonzie possibly with Legit and Ramby. And then after that, we got a call from T Squared, and he wanted me and Legit to join Straight Rippin', so we felt like that could possibly be a really good move for us. So
yeah, that's a really tough offer to turn down, because I mean, you've seen how successful Straight Rippin' had been, like the 2005 and 2006 season, and
yeah,
what was that final roster then?
Yeah, it was me, Legit, Fallacy, and T Squared for that first event of 2007. I think it was like Charlotte. I think it was Charlotte. Yeah, Charlotte 2007 or something like that. And I think we ended up getting 6th, and you were no-scoping me on Sanctuary Flag. That was fun.
Well, my zoom button was broken, so I was just going for no-scopes. No.
I just remember playing Sanctuary Flag against you, and just going back. I like spawned our back rocks, pushed back to our flag, and you're there with a sniper on our flag, no-scoping me.
I remember. All right, so one of my favorite things in Halo that like a lot of people, like even my teammates, would do what I thought was an incorrect move is when a player had sword and they were close enough to you, you need to stop backing up. Because I remember, I think one time when I was playing against you guys in that match, people would do what I call connecting the dots, where it's like, oh, guess what? I'm close enough to sword lunge this player, and he backs up far enough to get like you connected to your next teammate. So it's like you, dude. I'm sorry. I'm hearing the other players talk right now. He's like, Walshy and Hill, yeah, fucking up. We got him! So it's tough for me to talk when that was going on. I'm not sure if the audio is coming through to the stream or not, but but whole point being is I do remember that matchup against you guys. I remember just being like absolutely on fire, like getting like ridiculous no scopes, getting like sword lunges, like to like doubles and triple kills or whatever. And a lot of that too because of like connecting the dot where, like I said, that's one thing, that's one of my biggest pet peeves in Halo, where if someone's already gonna die from the sword, don't back up so that the person lunges closer to me too. Like take the sword death like a man, die, like run forward towards the sword person, and don't let me die too. And I'm stuck.
I just
come on!
My bad. Oh, that was the sword guy right here. And then, yeah, I really like that team. I mean, that team definitely had a lot of potential, but I think, I don't know, the reason that team didn't work out is, like, I went from teaming with Ramby, you know, and Poon and those guys who, you know, I've known for a long time, and, you know, that's basically like teaming with some of your best friends, and, you know, I go from that to playing with Tom, who is, like, you know, I don't really know that well, and he just, you know, a lot of times during practice online, like, he would get super intense and, like, yell at us if we, you know, we're making mistakes. I wasn't used to that, you know, and I was young at the time, so, like, you know, I was definitely a little caught off guard by that, and, you know, that's why right after that event, we decided to go back with Ramby because we wanted to, you know, kind of have more of a laid-back approach to playing and not, I don't know, we felt like Tom was...
One thing, if practices aren't fun, and especially if you aren't having the same success, it's really tough to want a team like that. Like, I think people do better, like, as far as improving or practicing in different environments. Like, some people like maybe that hardcore style where it's like similar to like a high school sport where like the coach is yelling at you or something like that. And I think T-Squared was... Like, T-Squared and Zaus seem to be like more of those like intense players where they like to scream and like to be more intense during practice, and were a bit more, I guess, like negative instead of constructive criticism. Like feeling like that fixes mistakes. But I've always been a person that feels like constructive criticism is much better as far as like fixing mistakes and having the team improve.
Yeah, for sure.
Because instead of being like, why the fuck did we not capture the last flag? It's like why did we run at pink 1 instead when we had some people at car? Like, how can we recognize this difference in the future and make sure we don't make this same flag route mistake? So it's always like, I always took practice as an incredible opportunity for learning. And not looking at mistakes and getting angry about them, like looking at them almost as a gift and be like, all right, well, we made this mistake here. Thankfully, we didn't make this mistake in the tournament, and now we're not going to make the same mistake again.
Yeah, I agree. For sure. But, yeah, so after that, we ended up going to we ended up teaming with the Extremist, or Wolfie slash Extremist.
Yep.
Yeah. So, because that was one of, yeah, a lot of people probably don't even know who Extremist is, or Wolfie. He also goes by Wolfie. He was one of Ramby's really good friends who he went to school with, and decided who also played Halo, and he decided to give him a shot, and we practiced with some scrims, or practiced scrims with him, and we were doing really well online, so we decided to give it a shot, and we ended up placing 3rd at our first event, which was really
huge.
exciting.
Like, first event together, and a squad, like you said, that you're comfortable with, that you enjoy practicing with, and like you said, friends, like the fact that Extremist was really good friends with Ramby, and he giving them shots, so it's just, yeah, it's a squad that really wants to work together, and you see a lot of successful squads. Like, that was a lot through, like, 2007, and so, like, I think of a squad like 5K, even though they weren't all local to each other, they seemed like a really good squad that were friends together, practiced all the time, and contended every single event. They consistently were, like, top 4, it felt like.
Yeah, exactly. But, I don't know, man. I wish, kind of wish we could have seen, or could have seen if how well me and Tom did back in Halo 2 if we kept teaming. But like I said, I was just too young at the time to kind of understand. What
Yeah, a lot of people
on.
don't appreciate the fact, like, it's easy sometimes looking at the outside and saying, like, why don't they stick with the squad, or why don't they do this? Like, there's a lot of, like, we're all growing up a lot of these times while we're competing through Halo. It's not like we're 25 when we first start competing and have a lot of the maturity to make these perfect teams and know how to handle, like, team changes and stuff. So, like, I think that's where a lot of, like, bridges end up being burned and some changes are made that people don't understand, because, like, a lot of times we are dealing with teenagers, like young teenagers that don't know the best way to approach things or don't know the best decision making at that point.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's completely understandable. That's why I feel like a lot of people maybe are like unfairly judged or something in the scene, because it's like, oh, like, wow, this kid is so, you know, outspoken on, like, Twitter or making the wrong team changes. Like, yeah, you're talking about a 17-year-old kid who's in the Halo scene. I didn't have, like, Twitter or Facebook when I was in high school. I probably would have looked the exact same way.
That's true. But yeah, then after that, I was on the agency with, because we ended up getting third. And then, I don't know, I've been on a lot of teams that just have not practiced a lot, like, because, I don't know, Ramby, I remember specifically Ramby, like, not getting on to play as much as he did, and, you know, we ended up getting 6th place again, and, like, me and Legit were so tired of getting 6th place, so we decided to, like, split up, and that's how he ended up getting on Straight Rippin', and I got on agency, because he was actually going to be on the agency with me, with Victory, or was it with Victory? I think it was Macchio and Victory, and me and Legit, I think it was.
That's right. I think one of those team changes happened at that point, and then it was. Is that when? I'm not. We were probably talking about the very end of 2007, where you guys had the roster without Legit, and it was, I believe, SK. So like Macchio, Victory, SK, and yourself.
Yeah, that's what it was. Because we were gonna, I don't know, Macchio decided that he didn't. I'm not sure what, because that's what the team was gonna be. I mean, I still remember even telling Legit that I'm gonna go join or stay on agency. Like, I don't know, it was pretty. He was like, I don't know, he was really upset because, like, you know, me and him were really good friends at the time. And we're still friends, but, you know, like, back then we talked every single day, we teamed, like, and I don't know, yeah, I just remember telling him, like, you know, I want to stay on the agency, and if Macchio doesn't want to team with him, then, you know, it sucks, but I don't know, I guess
it's tough because we've all gone through some of those team changes, like, we've all had those team changes, especially when we were younger and can't fully explain why we want to do a team change, or we feel like it's our best interest to stay on a certain squad that probably has a better chance to place together at the time. But it's always tough because I think some team changes are handled better than others. Like you said, I think one thing that players do wrong a lot of times is just never, like, confront or tell the person why. Like you said, like, it was tough to tell someone like Legit, who you consider to be one of your good friends, and is one of your good friends, that you're going to go stick with a different squad. But I think in the end, like, obviously you guys are still good friends now. The fact that you've told them, like, your reasoning and just were upfront with them about it. Like, we even you and I have had, you and I have seen, and we had a time where I felt that I felt like we could maybe have more success with a different player. Like, we tried Strong Side, Best Man, Ghost Diami, some of those things, and ended up going back together and teaming. And sometimes things aren't the same, but at the same time, I think there's a lot of maturity there too when team changes are handled correctly, and you can go back and team with that person, and everything can be fine, and you kind of, you just move on.
I mean, it ended up working out for both of us. I mean, he ended up winning a Halo 2 tournament with Straight Rippin'. I ended up, you know, consistently placing in the top 4 for the rest of the year, and I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, it worked out for the better. I mean, I don't don't know. I just sometimes, you just got to part ways with somebody, for whatever reasons. But yeah, I mean that was pretty much. I in Halo 2 or in 2007 Halo 2 actually that was when I won my first FFA tournament in Orlando 2007 and I ended up I think placing third in the finals in the 1v1s. Nice. So I mean, and then yeah, that was in 2007. That's when I placed top 8 in FFA and 4v4 every event, and that was something I was really proud of because in 2006 I didn't end up doing that, but 2007 I did. So
yeah, you established yourself as undeniable top player. Like the fact that not only is your team placing well, but when you can consistently place in like the top 8 or top 16 in the individual event, people will know that the skill is undeniable.
Oh yeah, and then I had the famous double shot on Elamite, playing on. A lot of people don't know too. Is
on midship.
I played on 7 sensitivity. I don't know what I was thinking when I did that. I remember switching to 7 because like I was playing doubles online, and I was like, I'm just gonna switch to 7 for fun. And I actually started playing really well on it, and I was like, man, maybe I should just stay on this. And I don't know. I remember I even switched up to 8 at one point in the pro lounge, and I was playing Pac, and I was just running around on lockout sorting, doing like 360 swords on 8 cents, and he just stood up and was just like, Naded! God!
I think that's another one that people have too, is like, whoa, did not mean to do that. Everyone has like a Pac story too.
Yeah,
like,
oh, man.
Pac and Zao stories are the greatest, for
man.
sure. Because I've said it before, I'll say it again, Pac is probably the funniest person I know. Like, not just gamer, the funniest person I know, period. He is absolutely hilarious, and just the way that he would react when you pull off a sick play on him would make that play even so much better. Like, stand up like, oh my god, yeah, what did you just do? I think that's one of my favorite parts about doing like these Halo histories, just remembering like a lot of the people that we've had the ability to like meet over the years, and funny stories, and just like truly appreciate what we've got to do. Because think about it, at our age, like when we were like 17 to 20 years old, how many people do you know at that age are traveling the country, sometimes the world, doing exactly what they love, playing video games and meeting some of the funniest, like nicest people, having so much fun and making money doing it. Like, it's like I will never forget these memories for the rest of my life, like going out and doing all these things that I've been lucky enough to do. So it's
it really is a blessing, man. It's I don't know, man. I still can't even believe it, man. That I'm still actually doing it. Like back in the day, like.
Well, it's crazy now because back then it was just tournament winnings, and sponsorships were pretty non-existent. There were a few that you could name, like from 2007 and prior, but those are few and far between. Like the sponsors that did exist in a lot of cases would maybe just cover the expenses to fly somewhere, and a lot of times MLG had that stipend where you could pay for your travel to the event, or you get like, I don't know, I think it'd maybe be like $400 to help cover your individual like hotel and flight. But things are way different now. Like for those that are watching this on YouTube, or there's plenty of people that are watching this live on Twitch right now, but Naded has 1,000 subs that watch him game on a daily basis. So it's not, and then you get commercial money and a lot of other things. Like, it's not just tournament winnings anymore. And I like the fact that some of these things make it more stable and more lucrative for gamers to make a living. Because back then it was tough. Like you said, there are times you'd get done in a tournament, like you place like 6, or top 16. It's like, why do I even do this? Like, it's depressing. Like your months of work and practice almost in some cases feel like they go to waste in that one weekend, and that's rough. But things are getting a bit more consistent now, and it's I really hope to see the scene grow and get bigger. Like, I love the fact that there's already a $1 million tournament announced for Halo 5 that I hope the Twitch numbers and YouTube numbers pick up for Halo, because I just want to see the scene keep growing. I actually have I don't know if I'm allowed to announce this yet, but I'm actually lucky enough to go out to Asia. Like, I just got back from Shanghai, showing off Halo for the first time out in mainland China. Dude, it was incredible. They'll have Master Chief Collection for the first time over there because they have some restrictions with censorship and getting the game approved by like Chinese government. But
and that's what you played. You played Master Chief.
Yeah, did some Master Chief Collection out there. But then I'm actually leaving again in 10 or 11 days, and I'm going out to Korea, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Singapore for the 4th time in 5 years to show off Halo 5 Guardians. Like, never in my mind would I have imagined that I could travel the world, which I love doing, and do it because of playing video games and doing what I love. And so, like, I would love to see at some point, similar to other top esports, like, it'd be so awesome to see the Asian scene and the whole worldwide scene take off the same way that North American scene has taken off with Halo. It'd be so sweet. Imagine, like, knowing all these top teams out in Asia, and because of latency issues, you can't practice with them as well. But when they get to a tournament, there's differences in strategies. You have a top scene over there where there's large events where you can fly out to. Like, I would love to see Halo be bigger than it once was as far as tournament scene. Like, I just love to see it keep growing. Halo's had such a positive impact on my life, and I would love to see that continue.
Definitely, man. I know Strongside was telling me when I was at the Kobe LAN that one of the main things that 343 is focusing on is making sure that the players can make a career out of playing the game, and I think that's really awesome. And to hear that, you know, the developers are actually, you know, really trying to help out all the people that, you know, actually do want to play this game for a living.
Yeah, I look at it as it's super insanely tough to make it in the pro scene, first off. So I would never discourage anyone from trying, but at the same time, yeah. I think a lot of things that people gain from it, whether it's the experience of traveling to a tournament, making new friends, competing in something you love, and just the people you meet are like priceless. It's nothing that I would ever say like, yep, everyone needs to drop everything and pursue professional gaming. It's for a select group that can make it, for sure, and you can pour your heart and soul to it and try, but at some point there's also a lot of things you gain out of it. Like I said, Halo, even before I made a living at it, was some of my favorite high school memories, just playing with like high school friends and going to my first tournament where I won like $50. Like, that's not a life-changing amount of money, but it was something I just did with all my friends, and I wouldn't change it for the world. So it also can open opportunities, like whether or not you're a pro competitive player. I think you can meet a lot of people within the industry, and like I said, I want to be part of gaming the rest of my life. Like, so
yeah, for sure, man. Same here. That reminded me of something you said about local tournaments. I actually, my first MLG tournament was the 05 2000 or LA 2005, but my first actual LAN tournament ever was way before that. It was a local tournament. I went with Ramby and two of his friends, and we ended up winning that local tournament. So that's how I kind of got in with, you know, Ramby and him. Was back way, we went to this Scion dealership for this LAN. There was like Poon was there, and there's just a lot of other people that played, and we ended up playing and doing really well. And that was actually my first tournament ever.
It's funny, like alright, so we talk about some of the amazing places the game has taken us. Like, I've gone to Asia, like I've been to an insane amount of countries. Yeah, I've also been to like the smallest LAN center you can ever imagine, that the tournament should have maybe took like 2 or 3 hours to run, and ends up taking 40 hours to run. The tournament's going way late into the night and stuff. So we've also been super interesting places too. Like, it's so funny going to some of those locals. Like, one thing that Pac and I always talked about is like, we always go to our locals and pretty much dominate, because you think about it, especially like in Halo 1 or Halo 2, we were dominant players, and to find people that can compete at that level that live right near us is, you know, pretty rare. And so, like, sometimes we'd go to a local tournament, and Pac would name the team name, and he'd name it Team Guaranteed First Place, and stuff like that. And I'm just trying to think of some of the local spots we go to, like, just like sometimes it like a random tournament would be held in a restaurant. Like they'd set up TVs or whatever in like the higher parts of a restaurant or like just some random video game store, and just so many random crazy fun places. Like I'd go anywhere for Halo back then, and I still obviously would. So one thing I think we haven't talked about yet, like we've been reminiscing on some parts, is we never got to talk about the times that we've teamed together.
Yep.
So
that would be the next part.
Yeah, this would. So we kind of skip over 2000, unless there's anything specific you want to cover, like the rest of 2007 or 2008. Like I think we could skip to the 2009 years, right?
Yeah, 2009. Let's talk about that for sure.
All right. So what I remember is I had gotten kicked off of Instinct, and basically they had went with it was Lunch, Roy, Neighbor, and I'm trying to think who I got replaced with. I really don't remember.
I think
maybe Eelmite or Cloud.
I thought it was, or was it? I thought it was Ghost, Neighbor, and then the twins.
Maybe it was Ghost then.
I think it might have been Ghost. I'm not sure though.
Yeah, that might be right. Because I can't remember. I'm thinking of the following season. I think maybe their 2010 roster was what I was thinking of, like Cloud, Eelmite, Roy, Lunch, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think that was you.
Either way, I remember getting off that team and being like, all right, well that was insanely solid squad. Not sure where to go from this. And was Shockwave and Defy already teaming, or what? I'm trying to, because I remember it ended up getting to the point where it was myself, Shockwave, and Defy. We kind of formed this trio. I'm pretty sure Shockwave and Defy had maybe either the Carbon team or Carbon Seed, something along those lines, and we were thinking about fourths. And it came to the point where it's like, well, what are options? Looking at either free agents or someone who could poach from other squads. And one of the first names that came up was your name, because we realized you were a free agent at the time, gained a lot, you had a lot of skill, but we also had like question marks too, because like there are a lot of times where it's like, all right, well, how's this person gonna fit in with the team? How well do you think that we can work together and certain things like that? And I just remember after we had jumped in a lobby, just started playing matchmaking for kind of like one of the first times. Like we had obviously played against each other, played before together, but like one of the first times that I think we ever really got to like sit down, talk to each other, and get to know each other. Like I remember one of the first games being like Guardian and just saying like, well, what are your thoughts on this season? Like, what are your plans, and like, what do you view yourself as a player, and like kind of going for a team? Because I honestly had questions in my head. Like I no doubt respected your skill, no doubt respected your work ethic, but you also hear rumors and stuff like through teams where it's like, oh, like maybe he's tougher to work with, or he doesn't go for objective, or certain things like that. And I just remember one of the first things you say is like, I'll do whatever it takes to win. Like I just want a good team that's dedicated, practices a lot. And I remember you being very willing not just to learn, but also to like help teach. And that's one thing I feel like I've always done a really good job of when I team with people, is helping. Are you in the search screen, by the way, or no?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see your level, so I wasn't sure if it was working. But anyways, I think one of the reasons that I've been successful over the years is because when I do get on a team, I try to learn as much as possible from my teammates. I try to teach as much as possible where in certain situations where I think I'm correct, or if I think it's a certain strategy. I also feel like I try to facilitate a lot of conversations that the team isn't going to spark on its own. Like a lot of people sometimes get this misconception that there's like, oh, there's only a captain and he's the only one that facilitates conversations. No, that's never like 100% true or anything like that. It's more, I do think that there's a lot of players out there that are more inclined to like facilitate a strategy conversation. Like, all right, we've not been doing very well on midship flag. What have we been doing wrong, and what can we do to fix this and realize it's in game? And a lot of times those extra conversations, like talking to the team, gets you so much on the same page. Like I remember you, me, Shockwave, Defy would sit for like hours. I bet we watched more film and talked about strategy more than any other team that season in 2009. Would you agree with that? Like, we spent so many
we
hours talking about it.
We definitely spent a lot of time practicing, going over stuff for sure.
And it helped us so much. Like, we reached I would consider instant success with our new roster. The fact that our very first event together, we took second place.
Yeah.
I believe we lost to the Straight Rippin' Squad, which was Snipe Down.
We lose? No, I thought we lost to
No,
Down.
I think you're right. I think it was Triggers Down. Because I was thinking that, yeah, you're right. You're right. It was Triggers Down Squad.
Yeah, we lost
Triggers Down. Because they were really dominant in 2009 squad. So you think about, too, like how we came out so fast, very first event, and able to hang with the best squads and beat them in our very first event together. And we had a lot of success that year. Like, I don't remember our exact placings the rest of the season. I believe we took...
We got third. We got second, third.
Second, third, which is highly respectable, especially considering the national championships. And we were kind of, I don't want to say a band of misfits or anything like that, but it was definitely a squad where I'd been kicked off my team of Instinct, Shockwave,
I didn't even get out of amateur bracket the tournament before that.
That's right. That you guys had those weird I forget. Did you guys do the golden ticket event that one or no?
With Karma. Yeah, I was teaming with Karma, and the first tournament we I don't know what we got. We got like 9th or something, and then the next event we decided to try to just pick up like 2 new players that really haven't gotten a shot, and that tournament, that entire team was just bad. Like,
think of how crazy it is going from, like you said, you didn't even get out of AM bracket, and next event you take second place.
Yeah, we didn't get out of AM bracket, and then honestly, I thought I wasn't gonna ever get a chance again, and then you guys called me up, and
because I think that was also I kind of forgot about that, but that was definitely a question mark too. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of times people have a short-term memory when it comes to like someone's places. Like, oh well, last tournament he got, he didn't even make out of AM bracket. Is Naded even worth talking to? Is like, yes, of course. Like, I think anyone who can objectively look at a player doesn't just look at last placing, because there's it's a multifaceted issue to why someone placed where they were. I think that's also one of the conversations we had too. Like, so why do you think it went so poorly last one? And you never were just solely like, on one hand, there were some fingers to point. Obviously, like, you're like, yeah, guess what? Guess our teammate didn't submit his email in time, so we had to play through AM bracket, where we should have been in pro bracket. Like, you guys had the 16th or 15th seed or something along those lines. But there's also parts of you saying too, like, well, we didn't gel. Like, I feel like we didn't play as a little team. You even said yourself, you're like, that you felt like you could have improved too. And I think that takes a lot of maturity, where some players don't just only blame their teammates. You also, everyone has to take blame on their own. Like, I feel like there's never a situation where it's like, oh, I did everything 100% perfect, and my teammates are the only ones to blame. Like, that's never been the case of me not winning a tournament. I've always, they'll take some sort of partial blame, without a doubt, if not majority blame. It depends on the event and the situation. But I don't know. I just remember, so we, I remember some of our lands. Do you remember some of our lands? So, the one that sticks out to me most is one time we were landing against Classic. It was, who was it? It was Best Man, Soldier, Legend.
Legend.
And Ant, maybe?
Ant. Yeah, I think it was Ant, yeah.
I remember one of these matches, like, the game before, they had destroyed us. I forget. Like, maybe they staked us out of Team Slayer or something like that, and they were just running their mouths. Like, they were completely running their mouths. And like, I remember just being like furious, because like, we just got wrecked the game before. These guys are running their mouths in my own house. What's going on here? And I remember we just talked. It was like, let's fucking destroy them this next game. Like, everyone just like treats it like 100% like tournament. And we play this narrow CTF game, which I'm pretty sure is on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
And it was, I know Best Man was one of the two. Maybe it was Soldier. But we end up beating them on a narrow CTF, and I want to say it was like 1 minute and 40 seconds, something ridiculous, to the point where it's like, all right, even if the other team is not playing, that it's tough to run the flag across the map 3 times that fast, because we literally were rallying it right back. We double goosed them in that game. I just remember you going absolutely insane, like screaming when you were like killing them off spawn kills, like. Actually, I need to find Peridius because Peridius has this footage on camera, like because
Really?
he was over. Yeah. For some
my
reason
God.
he randomly decided to fire up the camera there because at one point I had Peridius and I started to, like, film some stuff and we're thinking of maybe doing like some sort of like Halo like behind the scenes sort of footage. Like this is before I knew how lucrative like YouTube could be or stuff. Like I enjoyed always making content for the community that they enjoy. And just had never really taken it to its potential. And Prettiest was someone who I enjoyed working in the past. He was the one that edited my Halo 2 montage that's got like 1 million views on some channels that aren't even on my own, which kind of sucks. But so he had come out to a lot of like LANs events and stuff like that, and he had fired up a camera there. And I remember watching at one point, and he had this like a behind the shoulders view of you like screaming out as you're like spawn killing best man, and like we're getting we're literally rallying the flag. Like you think about like how hard it is on a map like Narrows to get a flag cap, let alone to beat a team in a minute and a half, a top team. It was one of the worst beans I've ever had or given in my entire life in a Halo game, without a doubt. Like even like random matchmaking games, if you think about it. Like if we matched up against random matchmaking team right now, even with 2 other pros or something like that, it would be tough. Like we probably could do like a minute 45 or a minute and a half narrow CTF game, but this is a pro team we're talking about. Like one of the best teams on the circuit. And prior to that game too, we were getting destroyed. And so I'm pretty sure we did that game. And then do you remember what game happened after that? I believe it was the Construct game that was immediately after that. So what Shockwave did, like a lot of us pros like to have some fun with each other, fun at each other's expense in some cases. But Shockwave had made this map on Construct, so it's Construct TS. I believe it was like the last game of the series or whatever, or maybe the second to last game of the series. Either way, he had put, I believe the vehicle is called the Hornet, the flying vehicle. There's a flying ship that obviously we never used in competitive play, but it was part of the Forge and all this sort of stuff. But he had hid like 2 of them on the bottom of the map where you could like jump off on certain spots of the map, jump in the vehicle, and fly up on Construct and start shooting people. So the next game after that, we load up Construct with with the Hornets on the bottom. Shockwave jumps down, jumps in one. I forget if it's you or Defy that jumps in the other. You guys both lift up on the sides, start shooting on the streets, and we have like top control. They all quit out, start packing up their Xboxes, and they left the LAN after that. Like they were gonna leave that night anyways, but they're like, nope, we're leaving right now. And it's been nice playing with you guys. We're out of here. So whoever had to drive home that day, I think it was like I know Soldier lived on the east side, so like Detroit. So I'm not sure if a couple people went with him, but I remember that being probably one of the funniest LAN moments that we had, because we went from double goosing them in a narrow CTF game to pulling out Hornets on Construct TS and them leaving the LAN because of it.
Oh my god. Yeah, that really was the ultimate troll, man. That was... Dude, this is how I remember. I just remember... I remember us definitely losing a game.
We lost it really bad.
Yeah, we lost a game, and I remember I was so mad that I went into the bathroom, and I was, like, trying not to, like, throw something. I was honestly
Please
so
don't
mad.
punch a hole in my wall, Brett. Please don't rip the sink out.
It was bad. So, like, when I came back out, I was so hyped. Like, I was legitimately going in, like, talking mad just crap to everybody on the other team. And I remember we owned them, and then when that Narrows game happened, and I stood up, I even opened their door to their room, I screamed at them.
Alright, so...
First thing I did is I got up, opened the door to their room, and I don't know what I said, but...
I'm sure it was like, hey, great game, fellas, would you like to start up the next game? No, I'm sure it was a bit more intense than that. And
Good game, old chaps.
do you remember our other troll with Bootsy Cat that we'd always do as home field advantage when we landed at my place? Where,
oh yeah.
So we'd always put the other team in a separate bedroom, and we'd always, I would always like sneak Bootsy Cat in the other room, and Bootsy is horrible to game with. Like he does not care about anything at all. Like, you can't kick him away, you can't scare the cat away. He would always just wrap himself into the cord, like, because we're playing on 360, we don't have wireless cords when we're gaming the tournament scene here. But he would be the most annoying animal you could ever imagine while you're gaming. So he would just like sit at your feet, bat at your headphone cord, bat at your controller cord, and that's frustrating. Like, it's so incredibly frustrating if you're losing a fight, or especially if you're losing, and you just have a cat like batting up at the cord above you, and it's like, get this fucking cat away, and people want to like shove it away, but I would, like, the cat doesn't move after you shove it away. It'll just go right back down, plop at your feet, bat the cord again. So I would always time it where like we're starting up a game, and most other teams like talk about the starting strats or get ready for the next game. Instead, what I was doing, as I was worrying about the Bootsy strat, I would grab Bootsy Cat, quietly open the door, slip Bootsy in, shut it quietly, and then, you know, 5 or 10 minutes later, the Bootsy would go into action. He would do his job.
I remember Best Man complaining about that. Yeah.
The one time I stopped at one point when, like, CMG, I forget, Call Me God was landing at my place one point, and he was doing the Bootsy strat, and he was just like, at one point he gets out of the room, like, how do you really, like, I was like, everything was like, yeah, I'm just, like, allergic to cats, because, like, one point I told their team, I legitimately told them, I was like, oh, no, Bootsy has to stay in that room, like, he's not allowed to leave that room, and they just, like, accepted that answer, like, as if cats don't roam around the whole entire house. So, I remember one point he told me he's allergic. I was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I did not realize you're allergic to cats. You should have told me that a while ago. I wouldn't have put the cat in your room. So yeah, the cat doesn't need to be in there. It's kind of been home field advantage the whole time.
Yeah.
One other thing I remember with our squad, besides, you know, like that specific, like, LAN against the Classic or us going over strats and videos, is when we would play like random Xbox Live arcade games, because you somehow have almost every Xbox Live arcade game in existence. So people out there are wondering, like, why is Halo 5, you know, Halo 5 Guardians Xbox come out with a terabyte of space? Like, nobody uses that much space. Have you seen how many Xbox Live arcade games Naded has? Yes, someone does use that much space, because he has more games than I've ever seen anyone have in my entire life, and it's incredible because we'd get done practice, and sometimes obviously you're not like super tired after practice, and it's nice to like just relax and game something else. And we would I remember one time playing Explosion Man from start to finish, our 4-person squad having to work together, like explode after each other, like you'd have to bounce off walls, go back up, like, and we'd have to like go through fast parts together at the same time, like hit like a reactor. And oh my god, I remember having so much fun, all 4 of us playing that side by side on your Xbox. Do you remember that game?
Wait, what?
Do you remember that game where when we played that?
Oh, yeah. I actually forgot about that. Yeah, I actually, at the end of the 360, I think I had close to 500 full arcade games on my account. It was so much fun. Of course, we played Peggle.
Oh my god, the Peggle battles.
That became pretty popular.
Peggle was the best. We would, so I think I would talk more shit in Peggle than I did in Halo. When I got to like Halo 3, like you and I would be practicing that, well, not practicing, we'd be playing Peggle at night, like after we practiced, and we're just like, oh no, oh fuck, did it go in the bucket again? Oops, sorry about that, Brett, look who just got bucket bonus plus 6,000 points.
Oh god, he always acted like he'd win the bucket on purpose.
Yeah, but if you understand how to line it up, if you're a Peggle master like me, you gotta just know the physics of how it bounces off the pegs and when it's gonna drop down there. So yeah, of course it's perfectly timed physics.
Oh,
I got an A in physics class in my college class recently. So see, it proves Peggle and knowing real physics, like you time those buckets for sure.
That's true. That's true, man. I wonder. And I was just thinking the other day too about Shockwave, and I don't know if he didn't retire. I don't know if we kept playing. I wish we could have kept playing through 2010 with that team, because I don't know, we made waves, and won.
People have their ups and downs throughout the careers too. Like, I think some people start to lose like interest. Like, I know I started to lose kind of my love for Halo when I got closer towards like end of Halo 3, and you know, going beyond to like Reach in some cases. Like I personally, you also have had super long careers.
Yeah.
within this game, and sometimes your priorities change as life goes on, and sometimes it's also like the games itself. Like I will undoubtedly say Halo 1 was my favorite game. I have, even though I've had more success, like money-wise and all the opportunities I've presented through Halo 2, like as far as the game itself, I loved Halo 1. Played that nonstop without any prospects of tournaments at all. That's just how much I loved the game. And so I think a lot of those play into effect, like, how long you've been competing, how much you love the game, like where your priorities lie. Because towards the end of, especially like towards the end of my Halo 3 time, it just got to the point where I enjoyed competing. I loved going to events, but at some point, people have to move on. And
nope, I'm playing till I'm
but it's crazy to think, like, in general, like if you look at probably average pro's career. Overshield's not there, and I'm dead. But average pro's career would probably be what, like, at the top. There's, some players who last more than a few years. Like, I think it's incredibly rare that players have more than one game, that they go on from game to game. Like, you used to see it so much more, especially like Halo 1 to Halo 2, or Halo 2 to Halo 3, where a lot of pros did not adapt or put in the hours to be at the top. There's always new blood looking to practice and be at the top and learn the game more. But, I don't know, in the end, it just, I maybe played a bit longer than I maybe wanted to, or maybe I didn't know what I wanted to do next, and I don't know, at some point I started losing my love for Halo competitive play a bit, and when that started happening, I decided it was my time to hang up the controller and still be a part of the scene in as many ways as possible, because I still love the scene, but the amount of hours that you have to put in to be successful, you're a testament to, like, you probably stream more than any other Halo player at the moment. Like, you and Ninja are probably the two that stream the most, probably, right? If I had to guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about lately, I mean,
Yeah, you without a doubt lately with Halo, I know I see Ninja stream a bit, like some other games like H1Z1 and whatever it happens to be, but in the end, like,
I don't think I even have taken really a break since the finals. Like, I just got back from the finals and been streaming every day pretty much.
Yeah. But it just goes to show, like, the amount of hours, if you want to be successful at this, you do have to put the same hours all the time. And you also have to make a lot of sacrifices. A lot of people, so we've covered a lot of the great things that come from it. Like, I wouldn't trade this for the world. Like, I got to travel the world, meet some of my best friends, do what I love for a living. But at the same time, it also comes at cost too. Like, I, have to be self-disciplined, stay in 6 or 7 nights a week to practice, put in every waking hour that I can just thinking about Halo. Wouldn't be able to, like, go out to different family get-togethers from time to time to practice. Like, of course, we take off a lot of main important holidays, like everyone take off like Thanksgiving or like a Christmas or where I happen to be. But when it came down to like a random birthday party some night or like out on a weekend thing, like I would be 100% focused on Halo. Like, yeah, I'm sure I could have given up or like done a weekend here or there, especially like the Halo 2 or certain times during Halo 3. But at the same time, when that's my livelihood, the only reason I'm at top is because I'm playing so much and that's my living. Like, I treated it insanely serious and I did not take it for granted those years because it was the best, the best years of my life. You don't do that.
For sure, dude.
So do you have any favorite places, if you had to name like any favorite places or opportunities that you've gotten through Halo, like what would they be? Or is it hard to just name one because you've been to probably almost every major city in our country?
You're talking about, okay. You're talking about traveling? Yeah.
Yeah, traveling, or even just had like people you've met, because obviously it sounds like you've made some great friendships, like people like Legit and Granby and a lot of
yeah, I mean, that's pretty tough, man. There's been a lot of good places for sure, but I don't know, oh man, I'm trying to think. I think definitely one of my favorite experiences was back in 2006, the New York City tournament, where the tournament was like held actually in the city, or towards late 2006, and like being able to just walk the streets of New York, like at that young of an age, I don't know. It was like, I don't know. It was crazy, man. I just never thought in my entire life I'd be out here like, you know, playing New York City, playing Halo, competing, walking around by myself. You know, I'm barely 16 years old. Like, I know nothing. But yeah, it was. I don't know. Like, that was I think New York is definitely one of my favorite places for sure.
Nice, yeah, it's surreal because like you do come from big city as well, like by San Francisco area, but I think I come from a small area too. Like I'm from Grand Rapids, where we do have a decent sized downtown. I'm from Grand Rapids, Michigan, but never had I been to a lot of these major cities. Like my family would sometimes go on like a vacation like to Florida, or we'd go up north like camping, but we never had been to like New York City, like you said, and gotten to like see like, wow, like this is one of, if not the most concentrated populations in the entire world, like skyscrapers that every single building is pretty much taller than the biggest building in my hometown.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Yeah,
and it's
man,
crazy
it's
too, like the fact that like, alright, so one thing that still blows my mind, like it's something I've obviously gotten used to and you've gotten used to over the years, but it's like, it's crazy to sometimes go in like those tournaments and like people want like our autographs or pictures with us, and it's like the most flattering thing ever, where it's like, wow, I never imagined that someone would look up to us, or like we have any sort of fame just from playing a video game that we love.
Yeah,
and it's just crazy to think of like how big gaming is now, like especially like from where we began too, because it's no surprise now to especially anyone who's in the Twitch chat or anyone who's knowledgeable about the competitive scene now as to how big it is or how lucrative it can be at the top. But to grow from, you know, I went to my first tournament in 2002, and there, you know, like I think first place was $4,000 for the team. There was no Xbox Live for Halo. Tournaments were not streamed, recorded, or anything like that. I remember my second tournament, a major one that was by MLG, like in 2004. Like I had to bring my own disc to help them let them use it for the tournament. So it's like this underground grassroots thing that we were playing for the love of the game, and thinking about it like now, like fast forwarding 5-6 years, like the shows on USA Saturday mornings, like a million viewers on USA mornings, like after wrestling or whatever it happened to be. It's just crazy to think about that. Where it's like, wow, like 3 years ago I won $50 and now I'm on national TV winning $20,000 and sponsored by Red Bull. Like, is this real life right now?
Yeah, man. It's a dream. It's a dream, dude. It's a dream.
It's absolutely insane.
For sure.
Like, we've been super fortunate, but also we've both worked incredibly hard to get where we're at with the game thing and made different sacrifices. And it's been a crazy wild ride. So, but I hope to see it continue, man. Like I assume. I gotta ask you, what's the plans for Naded in the future then? Like, what can Naded fans look forward to? A lot of streaming, competing
definitely
in Halo 5.
A lot of streaming. Definitely competing in Halo 5. And I don't know, just pretty much the same things I've been doing. I mean, I'm still working hard. I still love to compete. I'm gonna be trying my best to win tournaments in Halo 5, and I'm going to continue to stream and support the Halo community and support all my, fans, supporters that love the stream. That's why I stream every single day that I can, is because I know everyone looks forward to it and they love it, and it's something they can kind of just get away from, real life, and just kind of relax, watch some Halo or whatever. I always try to, promote a positive atmosphere in chat and the stream and stuff like that, because that's what people love. So. But yeah,
I think Twitch has replaced television for me. Truly, like Twitch and YouTube
that's what
have.
A lot of people say is they just completely cancel their cable subscription, and then they just stay subscribed to me, and because they just watch me all the time, and they I'm like their new cable.
The Naded channel.
But, it's the Naded channel.
So for those that are watching on YouTube right now, where can people find you? Where can people keep in touch with what you're up to? Like, what's your Twitch? What's your Twitter?
Everything's just Naded, man. Twitter.com/Naded, Twitch.tv/Naded, YouTube.com/Naded. That's usually where I'm always at. Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. So you'll find me on there. I always try to upload as much YouTube as I can from the stream and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm keeping active in the community and stuff like that.
Are there any other stories you'd like to share, or any shout-outs you'd like to give?
I was gonna say, you know, like how much of, because you're talking about a lot of sacrifice and stuff, like how much people actually do have to sacrifice, like, to be a good team. You know, like a lot of people, they make a team and they say like, oh, I want to win and blah blah blah, but then they just, you know, don't really put in the extra effort and, you know, watch theater like we did back in the day, or, you know, go over strats, just walk around maps together, and you know, like, don't go to that birthday party that you wanted to go to because you just want to, you know, win so bad, and or, you know, just be on as much as you can. And you know, that's why my career, I don't know, a lot of my career, it's been, you know, I've had so many ups and downs. Like it's honestly not even comparable to a lot of people, because you know, I went from, you know, not making out of amateur bracket to getting second at one point, you know, and then you know, even in Halo Reach, placing second place on straight ripping, and then getting kicked off the team, you know, after the event. And a lot of people don't have to go through a lot of that stuff, because I know even you, like, you've gotten kicked off, you know, maybe like once or twice, but like, you know, a lot of people like Ogre, or, you know, even Snipe Down, Roy, like, they don't really experience that type of stuff, considering, you know, a lot of the situations are so different for everyone. And that's why I've always, you know, I've always been kind of like that guy who's, you know, I've never actually been on a winning 4v4 team before, and, you know, that's one of my main goals still, of course, is to get that first W. And you know, it's been a, you know, just so many ups and downs, and that's why, like, I've always just told everybody, like, don't ever get down on yourself if, you know, you feel like, you know, you've had a bad game online, or if you just can't find the right team, because, like, man, I've been through literally everything you could go through, as far as teams, as far as, like, stuff like that, and you always just have to, like, persevere through it and just keep working hard. And, like, you know, I'm proof of that. Like, I've, you know, been on the bottom many times and have to work my way back up to the top, and a lot of people can't really say they've done that before. So you know, I don't know, it's just that's why I'm just really looking forward to Halo 5. Just hopefully get you know, on a really solid team that, you know, I can work well with, and make some noise, you know, especially in this $1 million tournament, man. It would be a dream come true to get my first W in a $1 million tournament, man. It would be unreal.
That would be incredible.
But yeah, man, that's, I would just have to say too, huge shout out to just everybody, you know, that's been watching my stream. Like, it's been, like, just that alone, my stream, like, you know, everybody in here right now, like, thank you guys. I mean, it's been such an incredible run. You know, I've been putting in so much work these past couple years. You know, back when Halo has been down in the dumps in Halo 4 and getting knocked off MLG, and there wasn't really that many people streaming Halo, you know, maybe Ninja here and there, but you know, I really worked hard, and last year, and played Xbox 360 every single day. MLG Customs, just grinded it out, like, you know, like I was teaming with my stream almost. Like, we would be playing MLG Customs every day, Halo 3 and 360, and that's kind of how it all got started. And you know, that was last year, and I think I streamed 100 days straight in a row last year, and on like 10+ hour streams. Just grinding MLG Customs and doubles and stuff like that. And you know, the stream is really starting to blow up. You know, this year, you know, like you said, I got 1,000 subs, which is incredible.
That is
incredible. Never thought I would ever even get to that point, man. Like, you know, it's been everyone's spamming hearts in the chat, but yeah, I don't know, it's just really a dream come true, because without my Twitch stream, you know, and without all my fans, you know, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. And I cannot thank them enough, dude, especially my family, my dad supporting me, and my mom and everybody. So definitely a huge shout out to everybody that has been supporting me, no doubt. But
I know the Twitch chat and a lot of the people that have been calling you probably appreciate you just as much as you appreciate them. Like, you give them all that constant entertainment, like you said. And, like, people will, I've heard plenty of times that have part of their daily schedule. It's get on and watch Naded stream, and a lot of people out there rooting for you. So I wish you the best.
Sure did.
In H5, we had some fun times playing against each other and playing with each other, and a lot of memories I won't forget. And so, yeah, I will have all your. For those that want to follow Naded, I'll have all that stuff down in the info on this YouTube video. All the links of where you can find them. And for those that give me a bunch of crap for not posting as much, here's somebody who has posted a lot more than me. I don't really have any valid excuses for not posting as much. I have been busy with
besides
traveling a bit and
across the whole world.
Besides traveling across the world, but I'm also for just as a short update in my life. Some people, if they're curious, is I'm just doing a lot of this traveling. So, for example, my next trip, I'll miss the first 2 weeks of school. A lot of people don't know this, but I'm 1 year away from a bachelor's of computer science. I've been taking full-time classes this last year and a half, really grinding. I want to get a programming degree and help make future Halos, make future video games, because video games has given so much to me, and I'd love to, like I said, be a part of gaming the rest of my life. But
that's awesome.
For those that want more content, more awesome content and consistent content, I highly recommend checking out Naded on Twitch and his YouTube, and there'll be some links below. So, Brett, thank you so much, man, for jumping on here. This is a Halo history that a lot of people have been tweeting about. I would say the 3 top Halo histories that people have been asking me for, or the 4 top ones that people have been asking for, is Ogres, yourself, Strong Side, and Gandhi. That's in no particular order, but those have been the top 4 requests without a doubt. So I was glad we could do this one today. Thank you for jumping on here and carrying me to the best of your ability. I know sometimes I'm a little heavy, but
if we win this game, though.
We got it. All right, let's see if we can clutch this last one.
This is it. I'm about to get killed, though, and we lost.
So, on a bad note.
Ending on a loss. That was fun, though, Dave. Thank you, man.
No, yeah, thank you so much for being on. I'll post this on YouTube as soon as I can. I'll probably have this up by tomorrow, and I'll tweet it out to you. But, yeah, thank you so much for jumping on. I know everyone in the chat is loving it. I'm sure people in your chat and everyone on YouTube has been asking for more content, and so it was great to finally make this happen, because we've been trying to make this happen for a while. Like, I remember, I think the last 2 events we've talked at, like, it was like IG Atlanta and the event out at ESL Studios. We're just like, hey, do you want to make this happen like next week? And like I kind of never followed through, so I'm glad that we were able to make this happen. So.
And I'm not glad, though, that you had 20 deaths. Wondering why.
I'm doing pretty good. Who's dying here? What is Soupy doing? And yeah, so actually the best part about this is that my webcam covers up the death. So I'll scroll through and you can see that I went -8 this last game. So great way to end this Halo history. So dude, thanks again for jumping on. We'll cut off the YouTube video here. And I might continue streaming for a little bit.